Hey guys, welcome to the Go for Gold Reconnect program. This is Chad with Consumer Credit Counseling Service. We want to say thank you for coming and reconnecting with Go for Gold. We think it's awesome and amazing all that you're doing to help your fellow students learn about the importance of money and how they can be successful throughout their entire lives when it comes to finances. You all are the leaders of this incredible initiative, and we can't do it without you. So we're so happy that you're coming back to be a Go for Gold peer educator, and we expect that this is going to help you to just continue on in all the great things that you're doing. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started explaining what the process is going to be from here. So the Reconnect program is going to help you to re-engage with Go for Gold so that you can continue to be a peer educator and possibly get the stipends that are available to those who do presentations. It's also going to help you to improve your own knowledge of personal finances, right? So you're going to be able to continue your financial education, which is totally cool, and hopefully, most importantly, make some money, right? That's what this is all about in the end, making money and doing the right thing with it so you can continue on with the great goals that you have. So why should you continue to be a Go for Gold peer educator? Well, I'm so happy that you asked that question. Well, number one, as I said, you're going to learn how to manage your money and teach others to do the same. That's an amazing thing that you can do to really empower people throughout their lives and to empower yourself. Secondly, you're going to learn one of the greatest skills that you can learn when it comes to business or other things that you might want to do. If you want to get a job in today's world, public speaking skills are really important. It helps you to present yourself and to be more confident. I can tell you when I was younger, I hated getting up in front of a group of people, and I was super shy and would be terrified, and now I love it and I understand the value of it. So we're going to hopefully help you to feel the same and gain that confidence too. It's going to give you the chance to connect with other students who are doing the same thing as you are and get $50 to deliver a workshop. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Plus a shirt, that's pretty cool. And connections to resources so you can open a savings account and start saving for your future. So now let's talk about money, because that's why you're here, and that's totally fine. To get the $50 stipend, number one, you have to complete all 4 parts of this training. This training is in one giant piece, but of course you don't have to do it all at one time. That's why we got it online for you, so you could check it out in different chunks, but you have to go through the whole thing. And there's going to be an assessment at the end that's going to verify that you did. Next, you have to conduct at least a 10-minute workshop at your school with your teacher's permission. All right. We know that many of you have done this before, and we can assist you with that, but you've got to get your teacher's permission. And then after the workshop, your teacher has to complete, this is very, very important, their verification form. All right, and that will be in the handouts that you received, or we can get you a copy of those handouts to pass on to your teacher. You can just use our contact information at the end to get a hold of us if you need to, and we can get you that. And then lastly, the students in your class are going to have to complete an evaluation, a feedback form. That's going to ask what they learned from your presentation and also how they felt it went, what they got out of it. You got to get at least 5 of those. All right, if you're able to do those things, your 10-minute workshop, get your teacher verification form, get at least 5 feedback forms, then you can possibly get the $50 stipend. One thing to understand, it's very important, is that those $50 stipends are limited. So if you're not sure if those funds are still available, again, you need to contact us before you do your presentation, and we'll be able to let you know if there's still stipends that are available so that you can get reimbursed. You'll also have to be on the list showing that you've completed this training and that you're ready to go and you're still connected with us, but we're certainly looking forward to keeping you there. All right, so let's move on. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about is building wealth. And you might remember this from the trainings that we did before, but there is a way where each high school student can guarantee their ability to become a millionaire, which I just think is so awesome. And we're going to go over this again so you can teach these concepts to your fellow students and you can help them to understand the power that they have in their lives right now. So before we jump into the actual $1 million plan, I've got a question for you that I just want you to think about, and it'll hopefully help you really think about the context of this. How does this all relate to me right now? I want you to think about our lovely flying dollars here. What's the best thing you ever spent money on? What is the thing that really made you the happiest once you spent that money? Is it something that really truly gave you deep satisfaction in your life and you're like, man, now my life is so full of purpose because I spent money on this thing? Most likely it's not. Things are cool. I certainly enjoy spending money. Everybody does. But at the end of the day, it's not just spending money that makes us happier. It's really the freedom that money can provide to us, where we can make the right choices, we can pursue the goals that we have, we can help other people. That's where money really helps us to truly be happy, and that's what's so cool about this. We can set ourselves up to have that kind of freedom if we make certain decisions, and we can choose to do that, right? So that's great. We've got the power to make the right choices, to have that freedom. So let's get into how we would do that, even right now where we're at as a young person in our lives. Well, I'm not a young person anymore, but you are. Let's do that next. So really what we're talking about here is being wealthy. And I always like to bring up these two questions because I think it's very interesting, our different perspective on this, right? What does it mean to be wealthy? For some people, that might mean I've got another $100 in the bank that I don't have to spend on bills. For someone else, they might say, you know what, I need to have a lot of money to fall back on, like $1 million, or I need to be making $1 million a year in order to be wealthy. Why is that? Why do we want to be wealthy? Well, I don't think that it's for bad reasons. I think it's for good reasons. As I said before, we want to do certain things in our lives. We want to accomplish things. We want to be happy. We want the people around us who we care for to be happy. That's great. And money's a tool in that whole process. And it's really about what we make it. We are in control of the decisions we make when it comes to money and the things that might help us to become wealthy. And wealthy doesn't mean rich. It doesn't mean that we have a certain job or career or status. It means we've got that freedom from making the choices with our money that allow us to do what we truly want to do. And it's going to take some money to do that. So let's move on and talk about how can we get that money? How can we save enough that we're going to be able to move forward with those goals? So bottom line here, I am going to show you a way to become a millionaire. The cool thing about this is any young person can start this process and can get there. The sad thing is, once you get older, it's no longer going to be possible. So very sad for us. If you're a young person, very happy because you've got the time to put in to make yourself a millionaire. And here's how you do it. So first we have to have some money coming in. Of course, we can't make money out of nothing. So we might have to pursue some opportunities to work, get a job, make some money, have our own business, be an entrepreneur, whatever it is. This is an example here that will show us maybe how many hours we might need to work at a part-time job while we're in high school. So maybe from our freshman through senior year, we work a part-time job. Right? This just gives you an example of how many days you might work, and you put in a few hours on the weekends, whatnot, basically 8 hours a week. So if we work 16 hours a week for 4 years at $10.40, that would be minimum wage in New York State. That means each month we will earn $665.60 before taxes and everything else, the wonderful stuff they take out of our paycheck. If we save part of that, right, this is going to take saving in order to do, but we don't have to save all of it. what we need to save is about $200 a month. That means we can do whatever we want as a young person in school with about $465 per month. Think about what you could do with $465 a month. Now, some of you might think that's not enough. Personally, I don't have $465 a month to do whatever I want to do with it. So in my mind, and probably in most minds of any adult you talk to, they would say, you know what, as a young person, that is an incredible opportunity, one that you might not have in the same capacity at any other point in your life. So I think it might make sense to take advantage of that. Just saving part of what you earn, working part-time while you're in school, doing the great things that you're doing. Let's now take a look at what we do with that savings to get us to where we've got $1 million. Okay, so before we get to the $1 million piece, let's recap again. We're working 16 hours a week, saving $200 of what we earn each month. And we can do whatever we want with the rest. We could save more, which actually would be helpful and get us to this $1 million mark that we're going to talk about. It would get us there sooner. Or, we just kind of stick with the bare minimum. That's basically what I'm showing you right now. We would have to save in a place that would allow us to earn 8% annual percentage yield. That basically means the interest that we're earning on our savings. And I'll give you a little clue ahead of time. We're not going to save that in a bank savings account. But if we did that altogether, we would have set aside $9,600. And if we just set that savings somewhere where we're earning that 8% and we left it there until we retired. Now I know that's a long ways off in your mind, but just for the sake of argument, to show you the power of savings. If we left that $9,600 in that account until retirement, and then we did whatever we wanted with all of our other money, we spent it however we want, we never saved another dime. Even doing that would allow us to save $372,825. That was just sitting there for anything else in the future that we might need. Now the secret here is, if we want to get to $1 million, we have to continue to save at least $200 each month throughout our lives, starting as a young person. And if you do that, you can guarantee that in the bank, so to speak, in your account, just sitting there, you'll have $1.4, almost $1.5 million. That's just extra on top of whatever other income you got coming in to pay for your wonderful cars and your wonderful homes and everything else, your boat, whatever you want to do. I don't know. This would be extra money that you would have to just have freedom, have choices, do good things for other people, do good things for your community. That is an amazing thing. And that means you could be and do whatever you want to do, and you don't have to just stick with the image that a lot of people hold to of having to be famous to make money. It's just not true. You could do it through the power of savings and managing your money like we just showed you. So the next important question then is, where should we save this? As I said a moment ago, we're not going to save this in a bank savings account. A bank might be able to help you, but there's different types of savings that we can look to. So in a bank, they're going to have a few different ways that we can save money. We could put it in a basic savings account. That means any day I could go deposit money in there, but it's not going to earn a lot of interest. In fact, it might be less than 1%. Or they have things called CDs. It stands for Certificate of Deposit. A little more technical. It just means you're going to save for a longer period of time, and the bank's going to give you more interest. That's supposed to be a plus. It's not a very good plus. Next would be a money market account. Same thing. We save more, we earn more. Different things we could do, but that's not where we're going to save this. Secondly, you might have heard of things like stocks and bonds. Those are ways of investing. With a stock, we're buying part ownership of a company. Let's say Nike. And if Nike profits, well then as part owner, we take share of those profits. That's how a stock works. Very cool thing. You can be an owner of any company, but you go through the ups and downs of that company. Bonds, on the other hand, are loans that we provide to a corporation or the government, and they pay us back with interest. So we earn a little bit of interest, a percentage of that bond, but that might only be about 5% or so. So that's not very high either. Next, we have mutual funds. So a mutual fund is a collection of stocks and bonds that get all mixed together, and a bunch of different people put their money in this fund, and that money gets used to buy a bunch of different stocks and bonds. That means that all of our money is diversified. It means it's not put in one basket, where if everybody invested in Nike and Nike goes under, which you know is not very likely, but let's say they did, everybody would lose their money. In a mutual fund, there's lots of companies in there where the money is being invested. So if one of those companies goes under, no big deal. Our money's invested in a bunch of other companies. And that's where your savings vehicle is going to come in. You are going to want to focus on an individual retirement account. Now, I know this word retirement is probably scary, or just seems like that would be forever, but this is a way to save that gives a tremendous advantage, where you do not have to pay taxes on the earnings of your savings. Oh yes, you have to pay taxes normally on any interest earned, like we were talking about the bonds over here before. If you just did bonds on your own, you earned 5%, guess what? The government's going to come along and say you got to pay taxes on that. Unless you've got your money in one of these wonderful individual retirement accounts. So your money will grow a lot faster. And you can open one of these anytime that you have earned income from a job. So that's where you could put your $200 a month, and it would really help you to grow your savings towards that $1 million goal. So to recap, being a millionaire, getting to that point where you've got that financial freedom that you desire, comes down to being a boss with your money. That means that we budget, we plan what we're going to do with our money. That's what budget means. Secondly, we own things. We own stocks. We own companies. We are the owners of the things around us so that we can invest more in good things. We could see them grow. Secondly, we save. As you can see, there's power in savings. It doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but from this illustration that we just went over, hopefully you could see how powerful savings is for you and what a difference it can make for the things that you want to do in your life. And lastly, and most importantly, we all want to help others. We should want to help others. So we should plan on sharing our money with our community, with people who we care about, so that we can all support each other and improve the things that are going on around us. Okay, so that's one of our favorite talks, and I'm sure one that will go over really well in your school if you show your fellow students how they can become millionaires and build wealth through savings. We're going to take a pause from the financial piece now and get into public speaking. Since you're going to be up in front of a group, we want to give you some tips on how to do that confidently and comfortably so that you feel like you walked away knowing that you did a good job. So when you think about a good public speaker, there might be a lot of different things that come into your mind. Often we think of somebody giving a speech, but I would encourage you to also think about the teachers who really kept your attention, conversations that you've had with others where they really captivated you and really helped you to stay connected. And often there was a few things that those people did to help you to stay engaged, to help you to stay interested in what they were talking about. Because we have to listen to so much stuff all day long. It can be really hard to pay attention, and I get that. It might even be hard to pay attention to this presentation, and I get that too. But let me show you a few things when we're speaking to a group that are very helpful in being a good public speaker. So here's a few of those tips. First, and we can't really accomplish this right now because we can't see each other, but if we were together, I would be working very hard to make good eye contact with you and everybody else that might be in the group that I'm talking to. That could be uncomfortable at first, but promise me over time, it will come very naturally. Eye contact helps us to stay connected to people and helps people to know that you are actually uh, concerned about them and you believe in what you're saying. That will go very far. Next, even if you don't feel like it, make sure you smile. Just putting a smile on your face on purpose will help you to be more confident and will also help people to feel more comfortable when they're listening to you. So think about when you've heard somebody talk, and if they smiled, it automatically makes you feel more comfortable, makes you feel more like they are engaged with you, and it goes a long way. It's also good to make people think. Ask them some questions. We've asked you some questions in this presentation to get you to think and to really understand how this relates to you, right? I want this to be something that's valuable for you, not just for me. So that's why we try to ask questions that get you to think. Next, relax. Stay cool. Know that most people are on your side. When they're listening to you speak, they want to hear you share what your experiences have been, and nobody can take those experiences away from you. So relax, stay cool, and don't go too fast. Slow down. One of my biggest issues still today is that when I get nervous or I might be really excited about what I'm sharing, I tend to talk too fast. You might have noticed that in this recording. So remind yourself to slow down. I have to do that quite often. Then also make sure these lines need to be even longer. You speak up. You could be saying the greatest thing in the world. You could be telling people how they could be a millionaire, but if they can't hear you, then it's not going to go very far. So make sure that you project your voice. That means it's loud enough to where everybody in the room can hear you above any other sound in the room. There's no other sound that would be above your voice. That can take some time to get used to. But once you do, again, it will come very naturally. So there you go. Some quick public speaking tips that will help you to build on that skill. And anybody can build that skill and be an effective, confident public speaker. So congratulations, you made it through part 1 of our Go for Gold Reconnect training. Now we're going to move on to part 2, and we're going to talk about how to get a grip on your money.